And it's another great Sunday morning. Welcome to Church of the Total Man, a church for men. Today we're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20. So get your Bible, get a cup of coffee, or just sit back and learn from the wisdom of the ages. Wine is a mocker. Strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Pretty interesting, right? Alcohol can cause you to say and do things that will lead you astray. Excessive use. Wine is used as medicine. It's used as a social drink. It's used to purify water. Same thing with strong drink, a distilled beverage. I'm not saying they are bad. What I am saying is that you really need to be wise when you use them. Your parents and grandparents used to say things like, use your head. Well, under the influence of alcohol, you have less control over using your head. And I would say, be careful with that. I'm not saying don't drink. I'm just saying be careful. Know your limitations because it can end up being a bad situation, fighting, saying and doing things that you wouldn't do if you weren't under the influence of wine or strong drink. The terror of a king is like the growling of a lion. Whoever provokes him to anger forfeits his life. Getting on the bad side of a ruler probably is not a good idea. I do love democracy, but I also love monarchy. It is an honor for a man to keep aloof from strife, but every fool will be quarreling. Some people just want to fight. Some people they start from the minute they get up to the minute they go to sleep. It's honorable to stay away from strife, to stay away from people who like to argue, to stay away from contentious people. Do you know any contentious people? Do you know any people who talk smack all the time on social media, who seem to have nothing good to say? It's best to be aloof, far away from them. Do not associate with people who draw attention to themselves like fools. Don't work with people like that, and don't associate with people who work with people like that. It is an honor for a man to keep aloof from strife. The guy who keeps his nose out of other people's business is honorable. The sluggard, the lazy man, does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing. Work now, enjoy the fruits of your labor later. That goes for so many areas in life. Health and fitness. I was telling someone yesterday how the health and fitness that you are enjoying now is the result of the prior 10 years of discipline. If you spend 10 years eating junk and doing nothing, at the end of that 10 years, you're going to look like you did nothing and that you ate junk. It doesn't happen right away. You get out of shape and unhealthy one sweet at a time, one cocktail at a time. The sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He doesn't put the work in. Part of the work, part of your life, mentally, physically, spiritually, is doing the work. And then you get to enjoy the rewards later. If you go to look for the rewards and didn't put in the work, it's not going to happen. It says there will be no harvest. The purpose in a man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. This is why we need to listen to people. The purpose of a man's heart is like deep water, letting people talk. That's why men should be getting together here on Church of the Total Man. You are listening, You are allowing the wisdom of the ages to reach deep into your mind, into your soul, into your heart, your innermost being. But a man of understanding will draw it out. Many a man proclaims his own steadfast love, but a faithful man who can find? Again, words are cheap. You can say all you want. You can say how steadfast you are, but words are cheap. But a faithful man who can find? Someone who actually lives it out. My personal opinion, which I try not to give too much here, but I think it's consistent with this, is that when it comes to things like love, it's better to act it out than to say it. Many times we're offended by people who have said things like, I love you, I care for you, but their actions say something different. Many men have experienced that. For instance, when you go through a divorce, one of the things you immediately think about is the wedding vows that you took. And the person who wants the divorce, 70 to 90% of the time, it is the wife. We feel like the vows are being violated. It's better to act out love than to say love. Let your actions say, I love you, more than your mouth says, I love you. That's not bad advice for anybody in any kind of relationship or marriage. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him. What do they say? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I have said the nut doesn't fall far from the tree either. Remember the Harry Chapin song? As I hung up the phone, it occurred to me my boy was just like me. He'd grown up just like me. For those that are fathers of sons, did you ever look at your son or sons and say, that's my boy? When he emulates you, when he reacts in an honorable way, or if your son says something wrong, gets into trouble, and then you realize that all they did was emulate you. I remember once when my daughter said a curse word, and I said something like, where did you learn that? And she says, you. Well, that was a lesson right there for me, because children emulate you. Like I said, it's either the apple doesn't fall far from the tree or the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. What kind of example are we giving to our children and to other people around us, to younger people who are looking up to us? As one of my mentors, Ken MacArthur, says, you're going to make an impact whether you like it or not. A king who sits on the throne of judgment winnows all evil with his eyes. We all have sin in us, or at least the potential of sin in us. I remember, I'm not a huge fan of evangelists, but I remember one that said, without Christ, a man is capable of doing anything. And he did not mean achievements either. He did not mean good things. It was bad things. Without Christ in your life, anything bad is possible. There's nothing to weigh your actions or words against. Unequal weights and unequal measures are both like an abomination to the Lord. Cheating people over what is rightfully theirs. Even a child makes himself known by his acts, by whether his conduct is pure and upright. Those of you that have many children, you'll find there might be one that just kind of strays a little bit. Sometimes that one kid is called the black sheep of the family, where they think different, they dress different, they act different, they have a different energy than the others. They might be more needy, they might be more independent, Even a child makes himself known by his acts. And it kind of goes back to children emulate what they see and hear in their parents. The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord made them both. Love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you will have plenty of bread. Again, the lazy man, the sluggard, loves to sleep. I say just get enough sleep. Just get the sleep that you need. What do you need? I'm an 8 hour a day guy. I need my 8 hours. I used to be a 6 hour guy. Now I'm an 8 hour guy. I like my 8 hours of sleep and I protect it. But any more than that, and I become unproductive. I literally, if I have more than 8 hours of sleep, I wake up more tired than when I went to bed. What is your optimum level of sleep? And operate on that. But it says don't love sleep. In other words, don't escape, lest you come to poverty. So, sleeping and poverty go hand in hand. Working, creating, producing is equated to wealth. If I'm not sleeping, I'm working. I am less and less into leisurely times than I've ever been. I love work. Do I like leisurely reading? Sure, absolutely. As a little escape, as a for the playground of the mind, absolutely. But if that's all you do, poverty is going to creep up on you. Don't be a person who loves sleep or loves to escape from reality and escape from your problems. I know it's easy to do that. I know it's a great escape. I know that. But when you wake up, the problem is still there. Attack the problem. Don't go to sleep. Bad, bad, says the buyer. But when he goes away, then he boasts. There is gold in abundance of costly stones, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Wow, many times what we say is valuable, even more valuable than precious stones. Words are valuable. The right words are valuable. I know that as a teacher, as a former therapist, and as a coach. I'm well aware that my words can either build people up or bring them down. They can bring healing and direction to somebody and wisdom to somebody, or they can bring them down. Your words can do the same thing wherever you are. Do you have lips of knowledge and of wisdom? Take a man's garment when he has put up a security for a stranger and hold it in pledge when he puts up security for foreigners. Security deposit. That's what that's all about. It guarantees pay. It guarantees that people will be respectful of property and what they are stewards of. Bread gained by deceit is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth will be full of gravel. Ill-gotten gains. Stolen food tastes sweet, but in the end, it tastes like rocks in your mouth. That's like anything that's gained by deceit. Plans are established by counsel. With who? Not yourself. With other people. Counseling with other people. By wise guidance, wage war. Always consult with others before you wage war on anything. Are you going to wage war on your health, your poor health, on your weight? It helps to have the encouragement of others to do that. Wise guidance. Wage war on what else? Your own poverty. You need counsel. Do you have a financial advisor? Do you have a health coach? Do you have a personal trainer? Do you have a life coach to help you get through divorce, breakup? You wage war on situations in your life. Now, this is obviously referring to historically real war, as in swords and shields and bows and arrows and spears. But think about the things that you need to wage war on in your life. It helps to have wise counsel before you do that. Whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a simple babbler. Don't associate with fools or associate with people who associate with fools. If one curses his father or mother, his lamp will be put out in utter darkness. Be careful about what you say about your parents. You know, the joke is, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. Don't curse your mother or father. Yeah, but they did this, they did that. Don't curse your mother or father. That is not a conditional statement there. Oh, you can curse your mother or father if they did this to you, or if they acted this way to you. No, just don't do it. Bite your tongue. An inheritance gained hastily in the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Again, going back to ill-gotten gain and fast gain. Slow and sure is the best way to create wealth, in my opinion. Do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will deliver you. How many times have you tried to take things into your own hands to even the score? Some people call it karma. I don't use that word. Some people say, what goes around comes around. In the New Testament, it says, whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. In other words, it comes back to you. You hear people saying that. It comes back to you. Do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will deliver you. Unequal weights are an abomination to the Lord. Here we go again with that unequal weights. If you're a merchant, give your customers exactly what they want. Don't cheat them out of anything. And false scales are not good. That's the second time in one chapter that that was mentioned. I think maybe we should pay attention to that. A man's steps are from the Lord, but how can man understand his way? A man's steps are from the Lord. How then can man understand his way? Are you doing the right thing? Many years ago, there was a movie called Do the Right Thing. That's a popular phrase. Do the right thing. A man's steps are from the Lord. That's the right thing. But how do you know that? It even questions that here. How can you understand that if your steps are from the Lord? That is a question of the ages right there. Are you doing the right thing? It is a snare to say rashly it is holy and to reflect only after making vows. Don't justify your actions by saying it's of God. There's a lot of people who believe they're doing God's work. There's a lot of countries who think they're doing God's work, and they're not. You've heard of, like right now, the world is at war, and there's a holy war going on as well. It is a snare to say it is holy. A wise king winnows the wicked and drives the wheel over them. Just like grain needs to be separated from the chaff. A wise king winnows the wicked. The wicked get filtered out of society. They can't operate in society. And there are places for them and processes to take them out of society so you and I can live peacefully. The spirit of man is the lamp of the Lord. The lamp of the Lord. What does a lamp do? It illuminates our path. Without guidance from the Lord, I can't see where I'm going. Even just a little bit of guidance. You don't even have to be a quote unquote religious person. Light from the wisdom of the ages helps illuminate your path. Never reject light, ever. And by steadfast love, his throne is upheld. A loving, faithful leader is a beautiful thing. Steadfast. Again, a word that we don't use much today. Let's make that word great again. Steadfast. The glory of young men is their strength, but the splendor of old men is their gray hair. If you have gray hair, silver gray or white hair, you know one thing. You might have even said this yourself. I earned every single one. The glory of young men is their strength. I can't lift the weights that I used to, but now I have the wisdom to not even try to lift those weights. Young men need the wisdom of an older man. Older men need the strength of younger men. It's not either or. The young man can't say, old man, I don't need you. The older man can't say, young man, get away from me. I don't need you. I believe this is the beauty. This is talking about the beauty of intergenerational dependence. We need each other. The young need the old need the young. Blows that wound cleanse away evil. Strokes make clean the innermost parts. Pain. Pain cleanses, doesn't it? Pain helps you focus on things. Pain brings your mind back to where it should be. Pain makes us humble. Well, that's Proverbs chapter 20. I'll see you next week for Proverbs chapter 21 on Church of the Total Man, a church for men.